Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2017 BMW M240i convertible. Up front is a 3.0 liter turbocharged inline 6 and down below is an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now I'm super excited to be driving this here M240i because it is an absolute blast. I love BMWs. I love the 2 Series. The 2 Series is my favorite. And so let's see how the convertible does. Let's get back to that inline 6 under the hood 3.0 liter turbocharged inline 6. It is a B58 engine, which a similar version can be found in the new Toyota Supra. It makes 335 horsepower and 369 foot-pounds of torque, which is absolutely enough. This car is an absolute blast to drive. It's fast, it has that torque, it has the turbo noises, it has the good exhaust. Everything works in harmony when you drive this car, and that is including the 8-speed automatic transmission. Now you can find these in 6-speed manuals if you'd like to, but I'm honestly not mad at the 8-speed. It's doing the job really well and I have no complaints. Oh my God, this is so fun. When you let the car do its thing, it does its jiggity little thing. The only real downside to this engine is the fact that it does require premium fuel, at least 89 octane or up. So if it's hard to find in your area, if you don't have 93, things like that, you might want to be aware of that before purchasing this vehicle. And I love the 2 Series. The 2 Series I think is perfect for me. Anything that starts with a 2 from BMW is fantastic. Now my all-time dream car is a BMW M2 competition, and I actually reviewed one last year, and of course that's where I fell in love with it. But I think the size of this car is perfect. It's not big, it's this tiny little sports car. This is what old E30s from BMW used to feel like. The E30s were the mid-80s to early 90s BMW 3 Series. And cars have just naturally gotten bigger over time, but the 2 Series has stayed that smaller size. I really like it. It feels really nimble. I can chuck it into corners. I have complete confidence in this car, which is one of the best things you can have in a car is confidence. Now, last but not least, this here M240i is rear-wheel drive. However, you can find X-Drive M240i's, which means it is all-wheel drive. So if that's something that you'd like to seek out, you can definitely do that. And I do have an all-wheel drive 2 Series video on my channel that I'll link at the end. With the power out of the way, let's talk about the interior. We have some interesting things to touch on. Well, in front of me, I have the pretty standard BMW gauges. You'll find this in most of their products, and I really like them. They're very easy to read, very easy to see, and they give you a lot of good information. You do get some quirkiness in the gauges, like the temperature is always in plus or minus. There is no just nothing, it's just, there's always a plus in front of the temperature, which I've always thought was weird. And then I do get a little illuminated 240i badge down at the bottom right, which I like. On the left is the speedometer and on the right is the tachometer. On the steering wheel, on the left, I have my cruise control options, and on the right, I have my volume, voice command, and phone options. I do also have paddle shifters around the back of the steering wheel, which I really enjoy, and I love the fact that the steering wheel is nice and thin. It feels nice in my hand, has a good weight to it, but thinner steering wheels are starting to make a comeback. My 2019 Mazda 3 has a thinner steering wheel. It's just sort of the way things are going. They're starting to move away from the chunky steering wheels of the 90s, finally, well, 30 years later. To the left of me, I just have my headlight switches and my lane keep assist, things like that. And on the door, I have my windows and mirrors. Now, it's kind of odd to find window switches in a BMW actually on the door. Older BMWs, mid-2000s BMWs, they actually put them down in the center. So I actually immediately went to the center to lower the windows, but that's actually found on the door. Moving into the center, we do have iDrive as an infotainment system, so let's take a look at it. All right, so let's take a look at the iDrive system here in the M240i. We have a bunch of different selections we can make here. First of all, media and radio. This does have USB. Of course, it has a bunch of presets. We can do aux and of course, Bluetooth. However, one thing that it is missing is Apple CarPlay. This does not come with Apple CarPlay, which is a little disheartening to see because BMW was one of the first companies to adapt Apple CarPlay back in 2014, and this being a decently high trim of their vehicle, would have been nice to have seen Apple CarPlay in here, but again, this car is 5 years old, and so I can't knock it too hard for that. I do have communication as well, navigation, connected drive, my vehicle, and notifications. One thing I did notice right away about the notifications is that it lets you know very, very soon. See, it has this yellow or orangish car saying, "Oh, engine oil," and I got in and I was like, oh no. But then it just says, engine oil in the next 1,100 miles. Service due soon. Please make an appointment at your service center. I still have 1,000 miles to go, which, this being a weekend car, is not going to get hit for a while. So the fact that it gives me that warning so early on is a little annoying. However, my Mazda does that as well, so can't knock it too hard. Let's go to my vehicle. I have tons of vehicle settings that I can do. Lighting, doors, key, intelligent safety, speed warning, driving mode, comfort ventilation, vehicle status, technology in motion, or in action, sorry. Regulatory notes, owner's manual, that stuff's pretty standard these days. Technology in action. I can go to efficient dynamics. This is showing me vehicles ready to drive, things like that. Really, really cool information I can have here on the 2 Series. But then something really cool I can select is the sport displays, which shows me how much horsepower I'm making and how many foot-pounds of torque I'm making at a current moment. See, I can rev the car. Those gauges move a little bit. These are the exact same gauges you'll also find in the brand new Toyota Supra, for those of you curious. Overall, I think the navigation system is okay. It's a little hard to get used to. However, once you're in it, it actually is pretty simple, and I like this dial that I'm using to select through these things. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But overall, I think the media is just a little bit cluttered with the AM, FM, music collection, aux, CD, DVD, all the different Bluetooth devices, tone management. I think it is a little bit jumbled, a little bit cluttered. However, not the worst I've seen in the world, and iDrive isn't as bad, as I always say. It's annoying at times, but not the worst thing in the world. Last but not least, let's take a quick look at the backup camera. I do have my front and rear sensors on the left. The annoying thing is that when you're backing up, if you're close to like a parking space or something, the car starts beeping really loudly, even though it's in front of you and you're going backwards. So that is a little bit annoying. I already know that I'm parked up against the wall. You don't have to yell at me. I'm trying to get away from the wall. Anyway, on the right, this is your backup camera. Not the highest quality I've ever seen, but still decent quality. And what I like is that when you turn the steering wheel, your trajectory on the screen changes, as well as these red lines here are your full lock trajectory. So even without turning the wheel, as I bump the camera a little bit, you can see your trajectory even when the wheel isn't turned, and I absolutely love that. I think that's great. And I can change the brightness, parking aid lines, obstacle marking, things like that. I have a bunch of settings I can go through as well. Down below the infotainment, I have my hazard switch and my vehicle locking switch, and then I have my radio and favorite buttons. Now, the nice thing I love about BMW favorite buttons is the fact that, yes, it is favorites for your radio stations, but you can also set these to be other things like navigation points. So if you go somewhere really far, like if you drive to, I don't know, Kentucky all the time, you can actually set something down in Kentucky as one of your favorites for navigation. And when you hit your 1 button, 2 button, 3 button, whatever, it will actually automatically navigate you to that spot, which is really nice. Then we have our climate controls. Nothing too crazy here besides the heated seats. Of course, recirculating dual zone climate is very nice, and all of that goodness is found right there. Then I do have a little ashtray, 12-volt outlet, and the cup holder. So we will do a big friggin' bottle test, and unfortunately, the big friggin' bottle does not fit in the cup holders of the M240i. This car is way too small for it. I haven't seen any car this size or shape except the big friggin' bottle, so that's nothing new. But before we get to the shifter, a quick word from the people that made this video possible. So a couple of thank yous to the people who made this video possible. First of all, we have Cash for Cars. Cash for Cars wants to buy your car. Whether it's running, non-running, has a good title, salvage title, whatever it is, you can get a free quote from Cash for Cars and they will pick up your vehicle in less than 24 hours. Our next sponsor is Fixed. Fixed is a Bluetooth OBD2 sensor that plugs directly into your car and pairs to your smartphone. The app allows you to monitor your vehicle's health. It gives you a forecast of issues that might come up and helps you schedule maintenance and find new parts. Our final sponsor is Conplates. Conplates is a suction cup license plate mount for the front of your vehicle if you don't want to drill one into your bumper. All three of our fantastic sponsors can be found in the description below, as well as videos explaining them further if you'd like more information, but let's get on with the review. Now we gotta talk about the shifter. The shifter itself, I'm not the biggest fan of, but I've grown to get used to it. You have to push the button on the side in order to change gears, and park is a button, and reverse is forward, drive is backward, and when you move it forward or backward, it doesn't stay where you put it, which is slightly annoying. However, not the end of the world, and I've driven enough BMWs where this doesn't really affect me anymore, but something to look out for if you've never driven one before your purchase. To the left of the shifter, I do have my traction control off button and my drive mode. So I have 4 different drive modes here in the M240i. I have Sport Plus, which is the sportiest, roughest, turns traction control off. If you want to go fast, mainly on a track, you go into this mode. Then we have regular sport mode, which still sharpens up the gear changes and your throttle response. However, it keeps traction control on, so you won't go into a ditch. Then we have Comfort and Eco Pro, which Eco Pro automatically turns on the engine start-stop feature, which saves gas, allegedly, at stop signs, turns your engine off. I personally don't like this feature. However, BMW does give you a dedicated button to turn that off, which is really nice, but that's part of the Eco package. Then to the right, I do have my control dial for the center screen that we talked about, the infotainment. I like it. It has good tactile feedback. However, as I learned today, taking my girlfriend out to lunch, it is very easy for the passenger to accidentally hit this dial. It's sort of down by their leg, so not the best there. Then we have the power top switch. Now, you can do the entire power top process with one button. So I'll show the process here. It's not the fastest process in the world, but it's also not slow. And when you are done, if you keep holding the switch, it will roll the windows up and or it'll roll the windows down to start when you are doing the convertible top process. I really, really like this. I like the convertible top. It is a little hard to see out of. The rear window of the convertible top is a little small. However, not the end of the world. I still like the fact that it is a power top. Then we do get a little center console here, nothing too crazy. Now we gotta talk about the seats. The seats are nice and comfortable. The driver's seat has 2 different memory positions. It's fully power, and like I said earlier, it is heated. Very, very comfortable. However, this is technically a 4-seater, so we will do a quick backseat review. So it's to be expected that because I unfortunately have legs, I do not really fit back here with leg space. The passenger could be nice and move up. For sure, the seat is back quite a bit. There's actually some more space behind my driving position than not. However, don't expect to take a lot of people back here. Children or people on short rides, you know, you're going to get ice cream, something like that, you'll be fine. But if you want to take a road trip, this is definitely not the car you want to be in. Plus, with the convertible top, it's kind of scary to be back here with the top up, very claustrophobic. And when the top is operating, I would not suggest having anyone in the back seat, just to not give them a heart attack. Speaking of back there, however, let's go take a look at the trunk and see if the convertible top takes up a lot of real estate. All right, around the back of the BMW M240i, first of all, wow, love that view. Love that view. But let's pop the trunk here. And we do have some like netting and things like that, covers, license plate brackets. And as you'll see, yes, the convertible top does take up quite a bit of real estate in the trunk. So don't expect to pack 2 weeks worth of luggage in here. However, weekend trips, backpacks, things like that will totally fit fine without an issue. So for a little convertible, I'm not that upset about it. But if this is going to be your only car, I'd highly suggest either getting a 3 Series, 4 Series, something a little bit larger so it has that nice larger trunk, because I guarantee you're going to start to run into space issues if you're going on a trip, if you're moving out, things like that. Now, before we talk about the exterior, something I want to do with this review, because I don't normally get to do this, is show the interior at night. The interior at night is filled with amber or orange lighting, just like the old E46s of the early 2000s, and even prior BMWs to that. I love the look of it, very sublime, very low key at night, and I think it looks really good. Now we gotta talk about the looks. I love the look of this car. I think it looks great. It's not as aggressive as the M2, of course, and I think it could use slightly bigger wheels. However, I love the front end, I love the back end, I love the red color from BMW. I think overall this is a very, very hot car, even though personally I would go with white with the red interior just because, I don't know, I like to be extra sometimes. I think this is a fantastic looking car, and I think this car will age very, very well. But now we gotta talk about my final thoughts on this here BMW M240i. Well, like I said, my dream car is the BMW M2 Competition, which shares a chassis with this car, but gets a bigger engine, gets a manual transmission, and is a lot faster than this car. However, you buy an M2 because you want a driver's car. You want to be pushing the boundaries every single time you drive it, whether it's on the racetrack or if it's going to Walmart. The M2 is just blood pumping, almost scary fun. You rip it, you drive it, you feel it. It's a whole experience. And this is about 90% of that experience. I still get the thrill when I push the pedal down. This car is a fast car. It still puts you back in your seat. It still makes you giggle. It still makes you smile. And so the best comparison I can do for this car is that this car is an intramural sport, while the M2 is the big leagues. That's the pro. That's the NFL. Because in an intramural, you're playing the same sport as the pros. You're playing the exact same sport by most of the time the exact same rules. But it's just light. You just have fun. Intramural football is still very, very fun for me. You go, you shove your buddies around, you play football, and then you go home. The BMW M2 is the big leagues. That's your day job. Day in, day out, you are playing football. You're in the weight room 364 days a year. You're on the road every other weekend. It's hard, it's grueling, but it's the big leagues. It's what people aspire to. It's what gets the most attention. But sometimes you don't have to aspire to be in the pros. You can be happy with the level that you're at. I'm very happy with this M240i. This is all the power you really need. You could get in, you could drive it normally. Look, I'm doing 25 miles an hour right now, and it's a great, quiet, fun, simple car. But then, if I want to beat the brakes off of someone, mother may I? You can. So no, this is not my dream car, but does it really have to be? I don't think so. Fantastic car. This is by far BMW's best convertible. Perfect size, perfect power. What more can you want? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Sarah Jane for letting me take out her M240i. This thing is an absolute blast. I appreciate her letting me take it out and having faith in me, because this is just such a great experience. The sun finally came out for the review. It was cloudy all day. I was really worried about it, but the sun finally came out. Sun is shining, and it's a good day. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.